Now from your weather authority, here is your weekend weather, sponsored by Pack Saddle Barbecue.
We actually saw a decent cool down in those temperatures last night into those 40s for those overnight lows, and then back to those 50s, 60s, up to the 70s, almost reached into the 80s for those afternoon highs on this Sunday as we've really ended this weekend. Just within these past couple of hours, we've already dropped down to the 60s, which is what we'll see for the majority of the night, for the majority of the Concho Valley. Looking back at that almanac, again, very close to average temperatures, slightly below average for last night's overnight lows, 45 as compared to the average of 46, just 1 degree away. And going through the afternoon, we saw a slight increase in those temperatures as compared to what we saw yesterday. Yesterday's afternoon high was 77. We saw 79 this afternoon, just a little bit above that average of 73, with another increase in those temperatures looking ahead to tomorrow, actually going to be in those 80s. So still continuing to see those above average temperatures across the Concho Valley. Looking ahead to these next couple of afternoons, actually looking at how our Sunday afternoon played out, we saw those thick clouds across the entire area, almost for the entire afternoon. And even as we've gone closer to sunset and past sunset, we're still holding on to some of that cloud coverage across most of the area. Those clouds really blocking out any of those stars that we would be seeing through these overnight hours. 65 degrees in downtown St. Angelo, looking off towards the north, and dew point is at 57. Actually feels kind of humid out there. Humidity sitting at 76%, and we've seen some slightly increased winds for the Sunday as well, seeing them right now out of the south and at 10 miles per hour. Those current temperatures across the entire Concho Valley, again, all of us actually in those 60s. Just within these past couple of hours, we've all hung into the 60s. A couple of us close to getting into the 50s. 62 in Junction, 63 in Sonora, as well as Ozona, Big Lake, 64 in Mertzen. Off towards the north, a little bit warmer here in St. Angelo, 66, as well as Ballinger, Coleman, and Robert Lee. We've all seen a slight increase as compared to what we saw at this time yesterday, and that'll continue through our overnight hours. We won't really cool down all too much here within these next couple of hours. We'll stay in those 60s for the majority of the night. That temperature change, almost a 5, 6, a couple of us about an 8-degree increase from what we saw at this time yesterday, but all of us just a little bit warmer than what we did see at this time last night. And that's even present across the entire state as well. Still seeing some 50s for northern parts of the state. 53 degrees in Amarillo, 66 though in Wichita Falls, 67 in Waco, and even warmer temperatures off towards the south. 68 in Houston, 71 in San Antonio, and 70s for a lot of those southern portions, even including Laredo, perfectly at 70 degrees. They will cool down just a little bit, actually getting to those 60s as well with us for those overnight lows. Actually looking at these next 12 hours for those temperatures, we will continue in those 60s. Again, a couple of us could get down into the upper 50s, but the majority of us will stay into those lower 60s through those overnight lows. And looking ahead to tomorrow, getting warm fairly quick into those 60s, 70s, and back to those 80s for tomorrow's afternoon highs. That forecast for tonight, 60 degrees, slight winds, south-southwesterly winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour, and those clouds still sticking out around the area, seeing those mostly cloudy skies. And looking ahead to tomorrow's afternoon, again, a little bit warm out there, still seeing those above average temperatures, much above average, 85 for that afternoon high. A little bit cloudy through the morning, but clouds will start to disappear throughout the afternoon, and seeing a slight increase in those winds, especially for morning hours. And a look at that 7-day forecast, we have our voting day forecast, 80s for the next couple of days, with a big cool down for Thursday afternoon.